Hi, hello. Sorry I didn't record some of the finer detail here. Um, it's just a little too hard to record it and draw at the same time, at least with this gadget. But anyway, I think I've come to the conclusion that drawing dreads, or at least this kind, I'm approaching it with the outlines and using the bottom part of my chisel and bearing heavy on it on the outlines, and then just drawing like a pattern that I see from the photograph all across, and then maybe adding some detail with a 2B tech pencil for hair, little bit of detail. So it is not hyper realistic, but I think realistic enough, representative of what I'm trying to show, and a fairly quick way to get to take on this challenge of drawing a very challenging hair pattern. It reminds me a little bit of drawing scales on a mermaid tail, but it's you know each braid has its own flow, so you have to plan for that. Okay, so detailing the eyes, adding a little bit more definition, and this part is just a little bit darker, like not very heavy, but noticeable parallel lines, and then on the bottom, some very somewhat light lashes. The top, just poking out a little bit, just to evoke that they're coming at you. That's the direction. Broke on me. Bearing pretty hard. Okay, some of this braiding process. Let's go. Let's just draw the tight braiding the way I'm seeing it. Like I said, well, this is not hyper realistic, but I think it is a realistic enough portrait that you get a good sense of this kind of beautiful hair. And if you're interested in doing a fairly presentable portrait that doesn't take super long, well, that's kind of my aim. That's what I'm kind of trying to shoot for. And that's how I do it. Flow along in that manner. Keep going. And keep going. All right. I'm working in a little bit more of the added shading on the eyes. This side. And some of the detail here where the braiding begins. Just light touches. And keep going. And continuing. And continuing. Bit tedious, but very satisfying in a way. And finished with the braiding. Now to continue with some detail on the lips. All right, added some lines. Now to smudge in. Make it look more realistic. And there you have it, a fairly quickly put together portrait with very challenging hair. It took me in total, I don't know, I'd say about just a little over 3 hours, and probably the most time consuming was the a fairly accurate outline. And I haven't talked about that. I don't know if you consider this a cheat, but drawing a grid has been a tool that's been used forever. And if you're able to print out on paper, I have here the grid pattern that matches 12 by 9, and I have to have intermediate lines as well. This I was able to do it with white lines on Illustrator, and then on the paper itself, it's some paper will not be translucent enough, or you can't see the lines, but this one, if you press, you can see the grid behind it. So I didn't have to draw on this paper and have that interrupting my drawing lines. So that is my process. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time.